All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for joining us so much on tonight's team call. It is the beginning of March. So excited. This year, I feel like has flown by already. And we already have lots of coaches that got signed up March 1st and even today. So it's going to be a strong freaking month. So get ready. A few announcements. We still have the Success Club retention point promotion going on. So anybody that you helped in February, if they continue in March and you get volume points, I believe it's 180 volume points continuous through March, you get one Success Club point, and then the same thing is going to be added for April. So the people that you bring on for March, if they continue in April, you accrue those volume points that will give you a Success Club point in April. Now, hopefully you heard on the National Wake Up Call or in your Coach Online office, there is My Best Fitness Friend. So if you are a new coach that signed up January through March 31st, you will receive one My BFF promo code in March to share with someone that will give them $40 off. So it's not going to give the new coach $40 off. It's going to give them a discount code to give to their BFF so that they can sign up for 40 bucks. Carl, I love you, guy, but you're giving shit away. That is like the best freaking deal ever. So if you have new coaches or if you're a new coach that has signed up January through today, you'll get a $40 promo code to give to one of your friends to sign up for the best deal ever. And that includes challenge packs that are on sale. So that's a huge, huge saving. So let people know, especially coaches that are on the fence, that, hey, you could have somebody join you and they're going to get an awesome discount. Another really great thing that they're doing for March is Team Cup Second Chance. So this means if you participated in Team Cup and you missed Tier 1 or Tier 2 prize, you have a second chance to earn those rewards in March. So if you achieve, so you had to have been signed up for Team Cup in February. If you achieve Success Club in March, you'll earn the Tier 1 reward. And if every member on your Team Cup team from February achieves Success Club in March, then you will receive the Tier 2 award. So it's kind of giving you a second chance to earn all of the fun swag in case you missed it. So that means don't stop working with your Team Cup people, right? Like just because February is over doesn't mean that you guys can't stick together, work again together for March and help each other, help 3 people for the month, right? So I think that is all I had for announcements, and we're going to keep, our morning workouts going. So same place, same password, all morning long. We're on, and we'll also be coming on for nightly power hours. Barb was all by herself last night. Did somebody join you last night? I think one person, a few people did. We'll continue to go. If it says like person's on another call, that means I'm on another call, and someone can just post a link in the team page if you want to do a power hour, and and the team Zoom is already kind of taken over. So we are going to have an awesome team speaker. I could already feel her energy. She like woke me right up, right? Courtney is going to introduce her. So Courtney, you can take it away.
Sure. So Annalicia Bayonne is a 2-star diamond lifetime coach. And I almost jumped the gun, but she'll get into a little bit of how she got and met Erin Hopkins and joined her team. We linked up just from chats in a 2 to 4-star diamond, like Northeast leadership page. And you could like feel her passion and her energy for this business. As soon as we like got voice messaging, I was like, oh my God, your energy is contagious. So I asked her if she was ever willing to volunteer her time to talk about something that that lit her up. And one of the topics that stood out to me was how she organically helps her challengers take ownership and then work them into working coaches, which I think is something we could all definitely benefit from. And I'll let her go into a little bit more of her backstory. But thank you again for taking the time. I know you're a busy mom, but looking forward to it.
No problem. Hi, guys. It is so amazing to be here, to be able to speak with you guys. I will tell you, I am a speaker with my hands, so be warned. I've also made some bullet points so that I could stay on track, because once I get started with this, like, it's all on, right? So I have been coaching for quite some time. I'm going to say it's been about 2 years. And I will tell you that for the first year of that, I was about a hobby coach. And I met Erin through an Instagram ad. And I am not the girl to click on ads, by no means. But when I did, I was at a very, very low point. I am a single mom of 2. I work 6-7 days a week. And at that point, I was trying to recover from a car accident. Now, I have struggled with my weight my whole entire life. I have eaten my feelings. You name it. I've had that struggle. Nutrition was definitely a huge struggle for me my whole entire life. I'm talking like from childhood. I would eat a whole tray of pizza. There was a huge internal struggle for me that I had been trying to kind of work with. And so I was scrolling, feeling completely hopeless, because I had gotten rear-ended at about 40 miles an hour at a dead stop with my kids in the car. And 3 months of physical therapy had not really helped me at all. And it's so crazy, because I started doing these DVDs that a friend of mine had given me, T25, and I was only doing the stretches. Before I even talked to Erin or click on an ad, I had been doing T25 stretches for several weeks, and stopping physical therapy and doing just T25 stretches and feeling better was just crazy. I couldn't even put 2 and 2 together. That's fantastic. And so I clicked on the ad. She replied immediately. We got to talking, and so happens that she was a coach for the same thing that had literally got me to feeling somewhat better. And I took that as a sign. I'm a big believer in that the world, life, God, whatever you believe in, really tries to put you on the path where you're meant to be. And I was feeling so stuck and going through the motions. And I feel that car accident was just kind of like a shock. It was just like, wake up. You were meant for more. You're meant to do more. You have to make a change. And so I committed, and I said yes. And I have not looked back. Now, I was a hobby coach for about a year, and I will tell you that it was a lot of limiting belief. I was not doing personal development. Now, I loved it. I got great results, loved my journey. I was hiring. I was signing up people here and there. I was making changes, helping people, but it wasn't like, okay, like this is something that I could build into a business. Until I went to a super weekend, January 12th, 2020, and it changed my life. And it changed my life because I saw these women walk up on a stage together, holding hands, just empowering each other, motivating each other, and they were from all over, just united together to create a change of something better. And I said, I want that. That's what I want. That's what I want to do. That's what I want to create. That's what I want to duplicate. And so I said, all right, let's do all of the things. And I was stubborn and I was uncoachable up until that point. And I will tell you that it has been the best decision. I have been in Success Club for 14 months now straight. And I don't plan on stopping. But I really want to talk to you guys about, the challengers into coaches and giving them ownership and pouring belief and all of that, right? Because I feel like everybody's like, I want working coaches. I want working coaches. I promise you that your working coaches are already with you. My top coach is one of my great challengers who said no to me for 6 months. 6 months. she said no to coaching. Now, she showed up like a boss. She was posting, she was sharing, she was encouraging others, she was doing all of the things. And that to me says, you have everything that it takes. And not only that, I want you to do this with me. So all I did was keep pouring the belief nonstop into her and sprinkling it a little bit here and there, a little breadcrumb here. Oh my God, you're doing so great. You would be such an amazing coach, right? So that to me was very important to start doing from the beginning. And now I did it very organically. And what I did also was give her ownership within my challenge group. I said, I really could use some help in this group. Could you maybe post a recipe Tuesdays and Thursdays and maybe kind of help me out and do this with me? One that tells her, I believe in you enough that I'm not just here trying to run the show. I want you to do this with me. I want you to come along and I trust you. And I want to build this with you. And I want to create this amazing group of women coming together with you. And that tells them like, oh my God, like out of all the people in here, you're thinking about me. You want me to do this with you? Absolutely. And she got excited and she was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I can do that. And little by little with her giving her ownership, first off, encouraging her in her own journey, giving her ownership in our group in itself, it just organically got her to know that she can be part of something bigger. Now, I will tell you that I know that belief in self is a huge obstacle for so many coaches. And I feel that if you are lacking belief in your own journey or in the reason why, or you're hesitant to share the coaching opportunity, then this hasn't really changed your life the way that it's changed mine. Because I never feel hesitant to have a conversation about something that has completely changed me on the inside and on the outside. And it is a disservice, I feel, if I don't share the amazing thing that changed my life, because I will be 100% honest with you. The programs are great. The nutrition is really like helped me dial it all in, but the community and coaching is what has changed my life. And I would never take the opportunity away from somebody because I am too afraid of being judged, of being called salesy, of being called pushy, of being called all these things. If people think of you however they may think of you, and let me explain to you, people will always judge you. People will always have something to say. And you cannot let that be a limiting factor for you to achieve the greatness that you are meant to have in your life, ever. And people are going to do that, but you cannot let that stop you from sharing something that can potentially create something amazing for you and for your team. So, okay, side note, my first little dot here is making sure that they are on the right track to success. That means to me is that you have to make sure that your challengers know where they need to find everything that they need to find. Right. So like, do they know where to find the programs? Do they know how to work the nutrition systems? Do they know how to calculate their plans? Do they know how that when they finish a round, they have to recalculate? They have to, I encourage my people to know how to take charge of their own journey from the beginning. Why? Because the moment that I see a potential in them, I already know that they have the tools to help somebody else because they know how to take the steps themselves. So making sure that they're on the right track for success is super, super important. Making sure that they understand every part of the materials. And if you yourself, because that's a big thing. I feel like we're kind of hesitant sometimes in the same belief that we have. If you yourself are not feeling confident in what you're trying to help others achieve, then you need to take a step back and evaluate where you need to work hard on. What is your weak point and what is your strong point, and feed them both. And so go back in there yourself and make sure, do I need to work more on learning the nutrition systems? Do I need to work better on being more consistent with my workouts? Because you're not going to be able to feel the confident belief of going out there and talking to somebody about something that you're being inconsistent with. And another huge thing for me, I have all of my people do PD. Coach, non-coach, it does not matter. There is a PD check-in every Tuesday in my group. Why? Because change comes from the inside. It does not matter how much time I take to teach them a nutrition system, how much I push them. It doesn't matter. If that person is looking at themselves in the mirror and still doubting how great of a human being they are simply by the fact that they're showing up for themselves, then that is something that you need to work on with them. And that starts with PD. That really starts nailing it in with them pouring the belief into themselves and understanding that when they pour into themselves, they're pouring into the people that they love. A mom cannot give the best energy of herself to her kids if she is not, one, leading by example, and two, pouring into herself. It's just not going to happen. I can tell you that by experience because my kids get the best energy out of me now that they never got before. I was irritable. I was cranky. I was exhausted. I couldn't go out to play. Like, there's the little things that we take for granted, that those are the gifts that we're trying to give other people. The fact that I can freaking do the monkey bars with my kid, that is something that like it gets so like overlooked, but it's such a big gift, giving a mom that gift. And that starts with her believing into herself and pouring into herself. So I create a PD habit. I do a PD check-in. I don't care if it's a podcast. I don't care if it's a book. I don't care, whatever it is. Right now, we're doing a full month-long meditation bingo. I have my best friend who is my assistant at work who made a meditation bingo, who said no to me for a year, by the way, of joining me, and is down 30 plus pounds now. For a year, my best friend, we share a tattoo. That shit hurts telling me no. But she's down 30 plus pounds and she's telling me no to coaching, but I'm a patient person. So now she helps me with like posts. And I will tell you that I had a rough time a few weeks ago when a best friend of mine of 21 years passed away, and she stepped up. She checked up on everybody. She did posts. She did all the things. Why? Because I have equipped my people with not just the tools, but the fact that we are building a huge, giant family. We are creating the community. We share our struggles, our good or bad. We ugly cry together. There's just so much in there. I cannot imagine a life without my team. And that is the same bond that I instill with my people, with my challengers or coaches. We are all in this together. I don't really separate mine. Here's a reason why, because I also share a lot of, what my coaches' achievements are in my challenge group so that my challengers can also feel that excitement for, whether one of my coaches rank advances, and then they ask questions like, oh, what's that? Where are you guys going now? What are you doing? Right? Creates that curiosity and lets them know, hey, she was a challenger just like you. And now she's coaching and she's helping people and she's changing lives and she's holding herself more accountable. So PD, huge thing, pouring into themselves. Another thing that I have here, obviously, is the pouring so much belief into them, right? That they show up in your group with that same fire. And those are the ones you start watching. And those are the ones that you start giving ownership to. So the people that are really crushing their journey, but not just that, but they're helping others and they're encouraging others and they're doing all these things for other people. Those are the ones that you're like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, you're doing so amazing. Thank you so much for showing up for such and such, for giving her help and giving her encouragement. I think you're doing great. You'd make such an amazing coach. It doesn't mean that I'm hounding her every 3 seconds, telling her you should be a coach. You should be a coach. No, I'm just letting her know that I see her. I see you, girl. You're doing great. And I know that you could be doing so much more to create an impact. My vision is super, super big, and my team knows it. They know that I am trying to change the world one woman at a time, no matter how long it takes me, one woman at a time. And they share that vision with me. They go along with me in that vision. And so they know that when somebody comes in the group, man, I tell you, I put somebody in the group and I say, hey guys, can we all just welcome such and such? And everybody's like, welcome to the family. You're going to love it here. That's everybody comes in and just welcomes them. We have a really cute joke. It's like, oh, are you trying to join the cult? Because we are very much intertwined with our lives. And then, like I said, just give them the responsibility to give them something to do within the group, something maybe that they like themselves. Maybe they like to encourage, try different shake recipes. Oh, can you share one of your shake recipes? Maybe every Friday in the group, maybe somebody will like it. Maybe somebody will share it, something like that. And that's pretty much all that I have. I hope that I have been able to serve and help you guys and encourage and give you something that you can take with you. I talk a bit fast and I talk with my hands, but I get very excited about all of this. This has really truthfully changed my life. I was not this person before coaching, and I think that it's just changed my children's lives, and it's changed so many women's life in my group. I don't know where I would be without it, and it's definitely something worth paying forward. Does anybody have any questions? Please unmute your mic. I'm here. I'm willing.
Go ahead, Ashley. I'll let you go first. Do you have a question?
No, I just, damn. That's awesome. I took notes.
I'd love to.
I have a couple of questions, and they're kind of like all intertwined, but you talked about like getting your challengers set up, your customers set up so that they know exactly what to do, where to find everything. Do you run one challenge group, like ongoing challenge group, and add people constantly? Do you run special ones for launches?
So I feel like I do things a little bit differently than a lot of people. So I am service is a really, really big thing for me. And so I actually do a one-on-one call with every single person that I sign up. So the first thing that I do when I'm looking for my little paper that I actually send out, I guess I could use this. So when I sign somebody up, I go through this on our first call, and I would gladly share that with you. So I actually, let's rewind a little right back. I want them to know where to find everything. So when I first sign somebody up, I send them just like a little welcome sheet that I made from Canva, tell them to download the app. I do not word vomit in an email or huge messages, because half of the time when people are trying to read something, they'll read half of what you have to say and ignore the other rest. And right there, if you are not making sure that the foundation of your challengers or coaches or whatever is not like firm, and that they are like shooting off on the right path from the door, that's when you don't have retention. That is when you lose people, because they lack the belief that the programs and everything works. So I am perfectly okay pouring a little bit of extra effort in the beginning to make sure that they have everything they need. So after I send them that, I send them the food lists, and I go, hey, can you just pick 5 or 6 things from these lists? We're going to have a chat, and we're going to come up with a good nutrition plan worked around your crazy schedule, whatever the case is. So on here, I actually have spreadsheets that I made for like best combinations of containers, plan A, plan B, plan C, so on and so forth, because I've noticed that a lot of the times people need their handheld in the beginning. You know, they need to know where to find these things. They need a guide. And after they have that guide, and after they feel confident that they're not missing containers, they're not feeling overwhelmed, after I go on this one-on-one call with them and I explain how simple and easy I combine the containers to make meals, they're like, oh my God, I was so overwhelmed. I thought this was going to be so crazy, and it's so easy. I'm like, oh no, it's simple. It's simple. So I have them pick 5 or 6 things from their food list, and then we go over that. Okay. So on this paper, I ask current weight, their goal, and it does not have to be a goal weight. It could be, fit in a certain dress. It could be, whatever their goal is. I give them their water goal, but half the time I give them their water goal before, and here's why. If I don't get to do the one-on-one call with them for a few days and they've already started fixing or correcting or adding their water intake, they're already going to drop about maybe a few pounds. That right there gets them excited, and that momentum that like, oh, wait, I'm just fixing my water and getting my body moving, and I'm already dropping a few pounds. It gets that excitement going for what else? What else is there? If I'm just fixing my water and getting my body moving and I'm seeing results, what else could there possibly be? So I get them with their water goal. But in here, when we do the one-on-one, I ask if they have any struggles with their water. And then I give them tips there, like maybe a bigger jug for the full day instead of small bottles, maybe a water bar. I ask for pre-existing conditions. And here's why. And I also ask for biggest obstacle. There's 2 reasons for that. For me, pre-existing condition, maybe it's depression, maybe it's anxiety, one, if I don't know what you're struggling with, I cannot help you, because I could sit here and tell you all of the things on how to combine all the containers and make the food great. But if you're completely zoning out on me and not responding to my messages and ghosting me and all these things, and I'm like, what is going on? But if I know that you tend to struggle with that, or that you struggle with eating your feelings and you're not seeing any results, I need to then go deeper. Send me pictures of all of your foods. What are we having that, might be holding us back from progress? If you're struggling with depression, I get to know and see and talk to you on, walk you through things so that you can get results. And then the biggest obstacles for me is like, sometimes they tell me like I have a crazy schedule, and so I work on with that, and so on and so forth. And then I calculate the plan, and we make a little small idea of a plan. And then from there, I will tell you that maybe 8 out of 10 people will usually just be like, great, I got this, we're good to go. And so then what was the other question? I'm sorry. Challenge groups and stuff. So I actually have, my bod group is usually a specific one. So whether it's like 9-week control freak or something of that nature, but my Facebook group is open to everyone. Like all of my people are in there. But usually, like if I'm doing a specific program and I'm trying to hype it up, like if we have a launch, then I'll do a specific bod group, and I'll be like, all right, exclusive guys, we're only going to be over here for this, create that FOMO type thing.
No, I think you answered even like my follow-up questions in there. Was like, what do you do to say, no, that was like perfect. Because if it's a like one-on-one, or if you send them like a PDF with like links or little like training videos, it's just, you hear everyone do it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So
I did start, and this is just brand new. I literally just started it like last week. I actually did a Facebook page with units on it, so that they can have everything that we go over on a call. So if they have any questions, they could go back there into the units directly, and they can get the answer to whatever we might have gone through on the call. So it's like a permanent page there for them to kind of use as a guide.
Awesome. Thanks.
No problem. Any other questions?
I don't know. I think.
Oh, I have a question. So I'm struggling with our challenge groups, and I feel like they're like super inactive. I've tried doing highlights and stuff like that, or like incentives to get people going. How do you make sure that you get people that are interacting? I find a lot of people signing up and just either ghosting or not really posting in the group.
Okay, so 2 things. When you do a post, have you ever thought about doing a poll? So like, guys, I'm looking to serve you guys better, and I would love for your guys' feedback on what you want to see more of. I do polls regularly in my group. And so whether it's like, for example, we've done workout bingos, we've done water challenges, we've done so many things, but I'm not just sitting here being like the one to dictate everything. If this is like a group setting, I need to know how I can help each one of you. So we'll rotate. So if, say, for example, we did super great in the water challenge a few weeks ago, everybody was like super engaging. And I got that out of a poll. What do you guys want the next challenge to be? Do you need more help with nutrition? Do you need to be held more accountable with your workouts, water? What is it that you need from me? And so from that voting poll, we did the water, and everybody did great. And everybody's like, oh my God, I feel so amazing this week. And so it helps them with their goals there, but it also gives them, again, that ownership into the group. It's more intertwined. They feel more connected. I feel like the big thing for us is that we are more connected with each other. The other thing that I tend to do is once a week on a Wednesday night for a half hour, I go available to all of my people, and we're there, and we literally everybody just comes in and we just chat, guys. We just share life. We celebrate each other. We cry together. We laugh together. We're just one big pajama party and through Zoom, and I'm there for 30 minutes. Sometimes I give them actual things to do. Like we went through SMART goals a few weeks ago, and I had a few girls really write down some SMART, attainable, measurable, all these things, and work on them. So it's just a matter of finding what works best for your team as far as what do they need from you.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. I love those ideas.
No problem.
And you said you run all of your challenge groups on Facebook?
For the major, my group is permanently on Facebook. Like I have a group there where I have my coaches, my challengers, everybody is in my Facebook group. I do bod groups, but I don't have as much traction in my bod groups as I do with my Facebook. But I have it there because I have some people that don't have Facebook that do like the bod group engagement, but I just don't get as much traction in there.
Thanks.
I have a question.
Yes,
It's
love
not
it.
really on this topic as much, but if you could sum it up maybe briefly. When you bring these new people on, your challengers that come from your groups, and you onboard them as coaches, what's your starting? Like, how do you onboard them without like overwhelming them? Or what do you do to onboard your new coaches?
I love that question because I feel like I'm surrounded by overthinkers. Like my type of people are overthinkers because, that's kind of how I am or I used to be, right? So it's like, am I saying the right thing? Am I not doing the right thing? I keep it super, super simple.
Yeah.
I explain to them that this is simply sharing what excites you about what you're doing. And the one thing that I do is we're in a pod together. And I literally have them share the conversations that they feel most nervous talking through. And then we literally all help answer together. Again, I create that feeling of everybody chipping in to kind of like, yeah, I would say this. Yeah, I would say that. And so then I come in and I say, we could also word it this way. And to me, it's always worded in a sense of like, service, or anything of that nature. I'm a giver first before I ask anything in return. But yes, I start very simple with them, just learning a bit of maybe the vital behaviors of like, just start adding people, just start looking, posting. I give them some tips on how to do their first couple of like posts. Content creation is one of my favorite things ever. Like I never run out of the topic to talk about. I literally have about 20 pre-drafted posts ready to go set on Instagram at any given moment. So I love to help them with their content creation to allow them for people to see that they are not just trying there to just be a coach and add another tally. I want their people to see all of the facets of who they are. So yes, very simple. And I help them with their posts and I help them with their combos.
Okay, perfect. It's kind of what we're doing now. Now, going back to what you said, when you ask them to post in your groups, are they like, what are you talking about? Like when you ask them, you said, would you mind sharing in my, like a post or something, right? They don't.
No, they don't really, because see, here's the thing, like these are people that are already really being out there with whether it's posting their shake or posting, that they have had a struggle or posting whatever it is, or maybe they're the ones that you notice that comment the most on other people's. They're the first ones to go and support someone.
Yeah.
So yeah. when I tell them, oh my God, I've seen you just really just come in and just pour into others. Can you please maybe do it on a Friday to help me out? And, my retention rate is pretty good.
Yeah.
Knock on wood. I've had people with me for 2 years, still active.
That's awesome. Thank you.
No problem. I love questions. Yes, you got to understand also that like it comes back to, you bringing somebody in to show them the way seems so super scary because you're always like, am I doing this right? Am I doing it wrong? Am I overwhelming them? Am I not overwhelming? And you're always going to have those constant second guesses, but you've already done it. You've learned the things. All you have to do is pour that constant belief into them and encourage them and be there when they need you.
I'm gonna go off of something you said about content creation. Can
Mhm.
you give like a couple examples of things that you have stored away? Just because I mean, it happens to me, and I've been doing this a long time, that I'm like, or like even part of my story that I've said however long ago, I'm like, oh, I've already shared that without like rewording it, you know, kind of thing. So could you share, just, you don't have to go through obviously all 23, but just
No,
give an idea
no,
of,
obviously I can give you a couple off the top of my head. Since I love nutrition, and I am so very big on creating awareness of like the things that are hidden on labels. I will definitely, like I did one the other day. I did a box of mashed potatoes with a real potato. Like I'm a nut for those type of facts. Like what makes this better than this? So it's literally the things that I am passionate about that you might not even think, right? It's also, for me, for example, I love to share recipes. I love weightlifting, so I'll do something pertaining to that. Something, whether if you've had, say for, okay, let me see, what else do I have in my content? My personal development. That's something that I'm very big on. So I'll share something from my personal development. So I'll do a selfie with me in my book. And I'm like, I can't believe that I learned this and this today. What are you willing to learn today? You know, something is small. It doesn't, see, I think sometimes we overcomplicate it. But I do a lot of, my color wheel is like a big things. It could be my kids, it could be personal development, it's nutrition, it's, you know, the fact that I love to dive into my people. I recognize my people on my posts. I share so much. There's just a lot. I would love to share that on your page if you'd like to too, or send it to you and you can share some. I can type some up for you guys, no problem. Like, okay, here's my best way. Give me an example. Tell me something you love that you feel you've already like done.
do you want me to do this or someone new?
No, you can go ahead.
Oh gosh.
On the spot, Courtney.
Postpartum anxiety.
Postpartum anxiety. Oh, I've been there. I was there with my son. I think we've all kind of been there. Okay. So have you talked about how you feel it's going to affect maybe the future version of your kid if you had not started this to help you work your way through it?
Yeah, I think more so now that I am more out of it is now helping me see how it's affecting them positively, as opposed to,
So that could be, to me, that's something that I would speak to wholeheartedly. Had I not made the decision to change my habits, change my daily habits that are slowly getting me to where I want to be as a mom, I can't even imagine how that would be and how that would affect my children in the future when they can really actually see and perceive. How will they treat themselves if I don't teach them how to treat themselves through my actions, through my choices, through my showing up for myself? So it's about vulnerability. We're kind of hard at being vulnerable sometimes, but one thing that I will tell you is that don't ever feel like you're oversharing your story over and over, no matter how long you've been doing it, because not the same people are going to receive the same message the same time, no matter how many times you say it.
yeah. And I think that, I mean, for me personally, I know I've talked to a couple of the other leaders on the team, is that even if I shared something however long ago, it won't resonate with somebody who's not going through that. And maybe 6 months, 12 months, a year later, they're like, oh shit.
It goes the same way. It goes the same way for when we're inviting, though. It is the same exact way when you're inviting. I signed up last month, someone that had been watching me for 2 years. For 2 years, I have been talking and inviting this woman, like just And I have just been a friend. I know she was struggling with, baby daddy issues. And I know that she, would go quiet, but I would always be there. And she would go for a while without talking back to me. But I was like, hey, I'm just checking up on you and seeing how you're feeling. How are you doing? But see, we feel like we're being pushy and needy and all of these things when we're doing that. But the truth of the matter is we don't know what's going on in their life. You don't know what they're dealing with. And a lot of the times we take it as our own. We take that ignoring or that lack of communication with us as if it's we're doing something wrong. But the truth of the matter is they're dealing with their own crap. And maybe they'll appreciate the fact that you're sitting there. Hey, I thought about you and I'm just wondering how you're holding up. How you doing? Is there anything that you need from me? Do you need a friend to talk to? And it's that simple. And she literally said that to me. She's like, thank you for always thinking of me and reaching out to me. She's like, I'm ready to do this now. 2 years.
Awesome.
Don't give up on your people. Thank you so much for all your questions.
Anybody else?
I try to be very thorough.
No, that was great. I think one of the most important things, and you said it in the beginning, is that, you were a hobby coach first. And I don't think there's any timeline or any distinct time for anybody to be like, oh, I've been doing this for X amount of time, so I can't change now. You can decide at any point in your business, in your life, to draw that line in the sand.
I agree.
And that action. And I think you're proof of that.
I think that also the fact of the matter is that I don't see it as a waste. A lot of people will be like, oh my God, I would have been so much further if I wouldn't have just posted for the first year, but I don't see it as a waste. I had to strengthen belief in self. I had to strengthen belief in programs. I had to find my own way around. I will tell you, I did not sign up and go into Erin's challenge group. I started my own with 2 people out of nothing. Like I didn't go in her challenge group. I was like, if I'm going to be a leader, if I'm going to create something, and by then I wasn't like gung ho, I'm going to build a business, but I knew deep inside that I'm a leader. I needed to show up from the door in my group as the leader that I'm going to become. So I didn't go into her group. I literally signed my people up, and with 2 people, I started a page, and I was like, hey, this is what we're doing. And that 1 person or 2 people turned into, I think we have in my one Facebook group, I have over 108 people. From 2 people in 1 year. Like I'm very proud of that, because in there, I also have my Tiffany's people, coaches, here's one thing that I also do that I don't feel like it's very common. If I'm having a conversation with someone and they're super, super hesitant to sign up with me, because I know the value and the spirit and the love that is in my group, I'll be like, okay, how about I add you into my Facebook group for a few days and you can see what we're all about, and then you can decide if we're your people. And I'll add people in there. Now I monitor them and I don't let them go past like a few days in my group. But I will tell you what, at the time, after like almost a week, I take them out. I'm like, oh my God, you guys were so great. I loved your group. And I sign people up like that all of the time. Why? Because they need to see what people need to see what we are talking about and offering. Because a lot of the times we can sit there and type up, it's a nutrition plan, it's a challenge group, it's a this and that and the third. But until they see, until they feel, until they see you show up live in that group, until you see you bring the energy, because the energy has to come from you. If your challenge group is dying, then you need to go in there and you need to pump that party up. You need to be the first person in there in the morning being like, let's go. And I'm not saying I'm like this at all times. Well, okay, like 90% of the time, right? But I need to dictate the energy of my group. They need to know that I'm there. One of my coaches is going through a struggle, and I literally have checked up on her people. I called one of her girls today. I said, hey, you've been quiet. What's going on? She's like, yeah, her grandmother died and passed away, and she's been struggling. She's like, I can't even tell you how much I appreciate you giving me a call. She's not mine, but they're all mine. And I am there to dictate the energy, and I am there to show the support, and I am the leader, and I'm going to show up like the leader that they need. And that's our jobs. It's our jobs to show up in there with that momentum and that energy that they all need.
Oh, that's awesome. Anybody else want to grab this energy while she's here?
Take me while you got me.
I have a question.
Yes.
So since you said you're so big on PD and it's such a big important part of your groups and everything, what is your go-to or your favorite PD?
So I'm gonna go ahead and say Compound Effect, 5 a.m., the 5 a.m. club, and I'm currently doing Living Your Best Year Ever. So Living Your Best Year Ever, for someone that's like really deep into PD, it's actually given me a bit of a struggle because it has really given me the really hard look that I am fantastic at achieving my goals, but sometimes I need to write them down a little bit more in detail. And so this is what this book gives you. So after every few many pages, you have to literally write down. It's like a worksheet. It makes you work and makes you stop and makes you reflect and think. But I think the Compound Effect is an amazing book to start with. You need to understand that every single thing that you do each and every single day, no matter how slow you feel the needle is moving, it is moving you towards the direction that you deserve to be in. So that's a really number one. That's a big thing for me. I've done Jay Shetty, Think Like a Monk. I've done High Performance Habits by Brendon Burchard. Entree Leadership is a great book also. That's by Dave Ramsey. My suggestion when it comes to PD is this: where do you feel you need to work on? And that's the book that you need. At one point, I felt like I had a lot of doubt when it came to leadership. I was like, oh my God, like, do I even know what I'm doing? So I got that book, and I will tell you, I'm like, okay, all right. A lot of these things I'm already doing, but there's a lot of things that I could also be doing a little bit extra to give them the leader they deserve. So think of what do you think? What do you think is the area that you need most work in?
I definitely need work in leadership right now. So that book could definitely help me.
Yeah, so it's Dave Ramsey.
Okay.
Entree Leadership.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
No problem. God, I love this. I could do this all night.
I'm just checking the chat. I like the idea of having challengers contribute. Yeah, okay. Anybody else?
Yeah, super important.
I like that you're actually very specific about what they contribute. Like instead of just saying like, hey, I'd really love your help more in the group, and just post on Tuesdays, they'd be like, okay, well, what the hell do I post? Where you're very specific, like recipes or shake out, whatever you think they excel at, obviously.
I also give them where to find. So I'm like, hey, if you go into the Beachbody blog, you'll find, a lot of Shakeology recipes. Can you maybe pick a flavor and just like share something from there? So I don't like go down to holding their hand, but I'm like, I at least be like, hey, it's this direction. Can you go from there? I use the Beachbody blog a lot. How much you have challengers share? Well, yeah, because here's the thing, right? Your coaches are just really good challengers. And you have to groom them and polish them and uplift them and build them and pour the belief into them. I will tell you 9 times out of 10, people don't achieve the greatness that they're meant to in life because they're too busy listening to all of the limiting crap that society has decided to throw onto you, all of the baggage that you keep carrying from childhood, all of the things that you keep storing and carrying with you as if they are your own. Your habits a lot of the times are not your own. Your habits a lot of the times are things that you've learned and picked up, whether it's siblings, whether it's parents, whether it's an environment, it's school, whatever it is. And you have to work to find who you truly are amongst all of the noise. And so I help my people find who they are. And when you decide to find who you truly are as a person, as an individual, it is almost impossible for someone to say like, holy crap, I feel amazing. I am confident as hell. I'm going to show up in this. So it's all works together. And I'm not saying it works perfect all of the time, but my greatest people, that's how I found them. So my Tiffany has Amber, who I've actually helped polish into this amazing thing that she is now. So the internal joke is my coach Amber, but we all work together. We all work together. We all uplift each other, and you know, you have to allow them also to find, you know, what is it that they love? What do they love so much? My people will tell you hands down that they love our group. Our group is what gives them life. You know, knowing that it is a safe place. I had a girl share a post about, you know, she was hesitant. She's having like a augmentation. She's like, you know, I would have never spoken to this about it to anyone, but you guys have made me feel so comfortable and so at home, you know, that I want to share my fears with you guys, and I want to share this with you guys. That's something amazing to have somebody say, I feel so comfortable that I'm going to share my fears. That's something I'm proud to build. And you have to build something that you are proud to call your own. And if you are not there yet, then what can you do to make it your own? What can you do to say, this is a thing I want my team to focus on? Maybe nutrition is your biggest thing. To me, it's community. To me, it's bond. To me, it's my people coming together, and nutrition, because I'm a nut for that.
Anyone else?
I have a question. So what would you recommend? Like, I feel like you touched on it a little bit, but when you have a challenger who, you know, like can take this business and run with it, and they don't see it, are you just like, I think this is where you were like, you just like sprinkle it along, like you're like, you can really just do this. Like, I feel like sometimes you have those people that, you know, like just straight out the gate, they're posting, they're talking about the community, they're like positive, they're doing all the things, and you're like, you would be amazing at this. And then, like, you know, I'm just wondering like how to help them see that in themselves, that like, yes, I am amazing in this, and yes, I can do this, as opposed to me just being like, no, really, you're really good at this.
So
you can't force anybody, but
you can't. But you can pour a little belief in it. And I may or may not have done this. So I've messaged one of my other girls and be like, I know that you with such and such get along really well. And I know that you guys comment on each other's posts and like all each other's posts. Like, maybe you can message her and be like, oh my God, thank you so much for giving me all that support. It's really made a difference in my journey. And then it's not just you saying it, and it's not like you're creating a lie. This person, they've already been commenting. Say, for example, like, okay, I have my girl Jessica, who's been talking to me about being a coach, and you know, her and Caitlin comment back and forth on each other's posts all the time. They encourage each other, they support each other, you know, very great, right? When one of them, maybe I want Jessica to coach, I'll be like, yo, Caitlin, can you go like tell Jessica like what you were just telling me, how great she is and how much she's helped you? Because she might need to hear this from somebody other than me, where she might think that I'm just saying that because I'm trying to be nice and be her coach. So sometimes it just helps to hear it from somebody else, because even us, sometimes we doubt that, right? We have doubt within ourselves too. And then we get a random message from one of, tell me how many times, how many of you, if you've really changed a few lives in here, you get a message from one of your people saying how you've helped them change their life, how they have so much energy, how they feel so much better. And you're just like, oh my God, I did that. That was me. Oh, that's so great. And I'm like, I start sobbing. Why? Because it bears weight to hear them say that I've created that impact, and I may not see it. I'm just doing me. But to hear them say it, you know, that's definitely, that could be something that you could do if you see that you have a couple people like that are really engaging with each other. Another thing, like I said, is you can't really force anybody. That's correct. But you can never stop pouring belief into them, because you never know when it's going to be the right time. When it's that time that you're going to say to her, you know, I just know that you can do this, and it might click. But I would give whoever you're thinking about a little bit of more ownership in the group. Maybe do, maybe say like, can you run do you do free groups?
Me personally, no, I've been a part of them, but I've never actually done, well, no, hold on. I've done one. I did a nutrition group for like 5 days.
Okay. Well, maybe it's the next time that you do something for your group, whether it's hold anybody accountable for a challenge. Maybe she can help you run that. Maybe she can help you keep the tally on how many posts X people make in order to give them a prize. I'm very big on giving. I am constantly giving. That's just me. Like, my people are always winning whatever samples or bottles or whatever the case is. But if you ever do something, invite them to do it with you. Because why not? Because eventually you want her to do this with you, right?
Mhm.
So you have to put her in a situation where she feels like she really can do this with you. She can be a part of this with you.
Okay.
Definitely give her ownership with, like, maybe sharing a recipe or something she really loves, something you see her showing most up with. I would give her some ownership with that. And the next time you think you're going to run some type of little mini group, whatever the case is, I'd be like, hey, I could really use your help with this because I'm just feeling a little overwhelmed right now. So can you just help me run this thing and maybe keep tally on how many people are posting or whatever? It would really help me out a lot. You're not over here forcing her to coach. You're giving her some ownership. You're having her run this with you.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. It's funny, I don't know all the things that I know until people ask questions and I say them. You guys are awesome. I love you guys. I love questions. I love this engagement. I don't like it when I'm on calls and it's just like total silence. Like if I'm on somebody else's call and I'm just like, I want to unmute and ask 20 questions. I love you guys. You're amazing.
So is your energy. I told you she was going to bring.
Do it. Let's change all the lives.
Anybody else? Anybody else? Anybody else?
Has anybody started using that new tracker? No, I started using it. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You believe it or not, I struggle with tracking, guys. I don't know how. I hit SE14. I just I struggle with tracking because I single parent and I do everything in little pockets of time. So I don't always have a pen and paper and something available to me, and I don't always have the capability to sit there and run a full power hour. But I know that I have to do the things that are moving my business forward, and that's having the conversations, and that's following up with my people, and that's, you know, talking on my stories and showing my posts. And I do my posts first thing in the morning, because then before I go to bed or during the day, I make sure that I'm replying to my content. And so in Facebook stories, there's this little pinwheel after you go to show more. There's a little pinwheel on the top left hand side. If you click on that, you can see any stories that you might have missed over the past 24 hours. I don't know who might not know that, but you can see stories that have passed that you might have missed, because I know that used to give me like, oh my God, I didn't reply to those stories. But you can also see a trend from one slide to the next that way by going through your history and your stories. So I'd like to see who's been watching two to three slides, because that means I have something that interests them. So I make sure that I have those conversations with those people. And those are things that I don't always get to sit down and track, but that I make sure that I do, because I know that that's creating the momentum. No matter how small of the time that you have to do the things that matter most. Have those conversations. And my invites don't always look like invites, by the way. I don't cold invite. Can't do it. It is not for me personally, because I'm a feels person. I have to have that connection. I have to know you to serve you. That's just the way that I am. So doing like 100 mass invites, it's just not for me personally. What pinwheel? Oh, I wish that I could do like a screen share thing. So if you go on the main screen, right, where you see your story and then you see other people's stories there, if you like look underneath that, there's a blue bar that says show more. If you go into show more, it shows yours and everybody's stories for that day. So before you click on anything, on the top left-hand side, there is a little wheel like a clock. If you click on that, that actually brings you to all of your old stories. So you can choose to pick on whichever story you want, whether it's past the 24 hours or not. Maybe you forgot to see, you put a poll and you didn't see who voted on it. You can actually go into there and see if somebody did vote on it, maybe reply to them. Maybe there's people that you missed that you haven't seen that are brand new, and there you can initiate a conversation from there. Oh, I'm filled with tips. Yeah, so that's definitely a big game changer for me, because like I said, I don't always have the time to sit and do like a full-on power hour and do all those little things, but that's been a big help for me.
Oh my God, thank you so much. I had this one story, had 720 views and I missed it. And I was like, oh, I want to get back to, I was like, shit, I missed it. And I just
Did you
found
find
it. Oh my, it's there. How long will it stay for?
Why can't I find it?
When
This
you
is Facebook, right?
yeah,
it's
Facebook.
Facebook, Court. It's at the top. Go to your stories at the top.
Yeah,
It says show more.
I don't see show more.
Oh, sometimes you have to refresh your page, click on something else, and then go back to it and refresh your page. And then it shows up.
That's awesome.
And yes, you can see a lot of them there. You can see, you know, and that's awesome. 700 and some views. What kind of story was you doing?
It was like my first story of the day, but it had a poll on it. But then it went from 720 to like 540 to like 230 to like it went down significantly. So I don't know what's with Facebook lately, because like some of them are really high and then some are low. I don't know what's with their algorithm, but there's one. I mean, I wasn't wearing much, but it was my first story of the day.
It's always the non-wearing much. I had a bikini one that had over 200 and some, and then the next slide was like 80. I'm like, really, people?
It was a poll too, and it had a lot of, I want to use it as content as well.
That's perfect. So that's something that you can segue into a post.
Yeah.
Like you can use that, you see that has a lot of traction, so you can use that as a post to create more engagement with your people. I am not an
And
IG.
I like my kids were driving me crazy and I missed it because it was so early in the morning and I missed it the next day.
I got you.
Yes, this is awesome. Cool.
Instagram has the same thing. I'm not huge on Instagram. I'm trying to get better at Instagram, but 100% of my business is on Facebook.
Where on Instagram? I just followed you on Instagram.
If you go onto the little dashes on the right-hand side, I think it's archives might be in there.
Got it.
I'm not 100% because like I said, I'm not totally
You got it.
Instagram. Yeah, but it's in there too.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Look at that. Multifaceted call. We did it all, ladies.
You're gonna have to text me, Ashley.
For Facebook or Instagram? Or both?
I still don't see the see more on Facebook. Am I the only
You
one?
need to update your Facebook.
Maybe, yeah. But sometimes it takes me a few like refreshes of the same page and then it shows up.
Mine says see all stories, Courtney.
Oh, could be. Is it an iPhone? I have a
Yes.
Android.
Mine doesn't say any of that.
Hold on, let me see if I can share my phone.
What's the matter, Papa?
Oh, thanks, Beck. Yeah, I definitely don't have that. Show more.
I can't get it.
All right. Let me go update.
I don't either, Courtney, but I think it's because mine doesn't connect from Instagram to Facebook. I don't know how to change my Instagram so that it
Court-
connects to
Yeah, see all stories.
And
then
I
at the
might
top.
be able to help you with that. But yeah, I don't have that blue bar.
And I think it goes back quite a few days, quite a few slides too.
Yeah,
If
it
you're
goes
on your
back a
phone,
while.
Courtney, it's like 3 little dots. If you're on your main page, go to your Facebook and then it'll be like 3 little dots and then it'll say story archive.
Courtney, I just clicked on my story and like held down on that blue circle on my one story. You see like the little blue circles. If you hold it down for a second, you'll get I got a little pop-up that said archive, and that's where I got mine.
Hello.
I have that. I have that. Thanks, Jen. Yeah.
Sorry, I shut my camera off because we're laying in bed. We gotta get up in like 5 hours.
That's all good. As long as I'm helping, as long as you guys are learning something, we are good.
Yeah, no, thank you so much. I think I speak for everyone that there was definitely some big takeaways. Does anyone have any last minute questions? All right, awesome. If any more come in, I'll message you.
Sounds great.
And we'll connect there. But thank you again so much. Is there anything else for the good of the order for the team or anything?
Can you take a picture? Because I'm on my phone. Can you take a picture of everybody and send it to me? Please, thank you.
Let me do that in the chat. I think I took one before, but let me.
Here, we'll do a fun boomerang. Everyone, if you can. Jenna, I know you're in bed. Thank you. Everyone wave or do something funny. I don't know. We got it.
Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank
It was
you.
an absolute pleasure spending this time with you guys. I genuinely enjoyed all of the questions, and I'm always here if you ever have any more.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good night, guys.
Have
Bye,
a good
guys.
day.